So the first question
Yeah.
I have for you is, how do you feel about Donald Trump being the 45th president of the United States of America?
Well, I have mixed feelings, of course. I did vote for Donald Trump because I felt like some of the things that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton have done over the past 30 years are devastating, criminal, and I think they're continuing some of the neoconservative policies of George Bush and even Barack Obama that have put our country at war with countries like Iraq, Libya, and now Syria. And I think that if you guys look at WikiLeaks, have you looked at WikiLeaks at all?
WikiLeaks.
Have not looked at WikiLeaks?
I'm not sure if I looked at WikiLeaks.
Well, WikiLeaks is the emails coming from the Democratic National Committee and from Hillary Clinton and her campaign. And they've revealed collusion with the mainstream media that have basically hidden the facts from the general public. I mean, I'm curious to know more about what people have been saying to you guys. I think everybody here has good point and good opinion, but now we've got President Donald Trump, and I don't see anyone having any hope that there's any possibility that he might do something good.
You want me to speak for me personally or speak about what I've heard?
Well, you both. I mean, whatever. Your opinion is more important to me than what you've heard.
Okay, so my personal opinion, I prefer not to communicate. But from what I've heard, what's been consistent from what everybody's communicated to me is that they're just very against Donald Trump morally. Donald Trump doesn't seem like he can connect with a lot of the minorities, people of color, women, and people are looking at him as misogynist, racist, sexist. And, us being a progressive country, a lot of people feel like that is backwards and not actually forward, and is going to push our country to become greater. So that's how a lot of people are feeling about President Trump, and I can empathize with a lot of those different struggles, being a minority and being in subordinate groups in multiple different ways. So that's my
Have you seen the video on YouTube from a woman? It's a black woman who is an executive with Donald Trump, who says that he's not racist, that he's not misogynist. Now, obviously, that's just one person's opinion, but I'm always interested to see the opinion of someone with firsthand knowledge rather than something that's said on the news, particularly since one of the things that WikiLeaks revealed was that Hillary Clinton's campaign is actually working with the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, Newsweek, infiltrating these news organizations and spreading lies. Have you ever heard of Daniel Ellsberg? Do you know who that is?
Ring a bell.
Well, in the 1970s, Daniel Ellsberg stole a cache of documents from the CIA and released them to the New York Times in something known as the Pentagon Papers. He's sort of like the Edward Snowden of the 1970s. And it revealed all kinds of top secret programs that the CIA was running, including one called Operation Mockingbird, where the CIA had operatives within the major news media to control the stories, to put out false stories and control people's thoughts. Now, if that's true...
I do want to respond to some of the things you said. You said a lot already, and I want to be able to...
Yeah, please do.
So you did communicate about a few things, and one of the first things you communicated was about somebody who is in Trump's administration, who's a black woman who advocates for Trump not
his company, not his administration.
Okay, his company, and says that he is not sexist or racist or misogynist. I can't speak on that, and I can't speak in the same way that you're saying that there is in Hillary Clinton's administration that they're paying off certain companies to be able to advocate for her.
Right.
That might be the same thing going on in that case. So we can't really communicate about that specific isolated.
Except this woman works for Donald Trump in a public capacity, and the communications revealed in WikiLeaks were private, hidden, done on a private server. Now, that's been a big issue, Hillary Clinton having this private server. Of course, that when someone works for the government, any communications they have, if you were to choose to go
to their government
email, so that way you could go to the National Archives and submit a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act request, and see what they're talking about, so that the government's not communicating in secret, not locking away political dissidents and people who want to reveal the lies, right? Like Julian Assange is being locked in the embassy, the Ecuadorian embassy in London, and if he leaves, he's going to be killed or arrested. I mean, that's not what our country's supposed to stand for, right? It's getting real cold, man.
It's
Josh, I'd love to continue this conversation with you. I'm glad to have met you. You want to say some more stuff?
I would honestly, I would have.
Because we're getting cold, man. We're getting cold here.
To be honest,
let's continue it. Let's stay in touch.
One of the things I want to say is, at this point, with Trump being elected as our president,
yes,
I want him to be able to lead our country well. I don't want to see him.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
I don't want to see him do bad because he is our president now.
Yeah, we'll all do bad if he does bad.
Our future now, he has power in that.
Yes.
For that, right?
Yes.
Now. So it's important for us to have unity at this point.
I agree.
And a lot of people have said to me, because no matter if you personally feel he's not sexist or racist or whoever's personal.
Well, I just don't know.
But what we have to look at is the remarks that he said publicly that have been documented. Those things are there. You know, the proof is in the pudding. So what we need at this point is for him to make amends with those kind of things.
Agreed.
To say sorry for the things that he has said that has offended so many people, that thousands of people have had to come out and riot against it. So that's something that is definitely.
Well, rioting is never good. Protesting
and rioting. This is happening.
Rioting is bad. The one thought I'll leave you with is those statements that we've seen have been presented to us in a news media that I feel is manipulated. Edited statements, leaked tapes. You know that Billy Bush, the guy he was talking to on the bus about grabbing, that's George W.'s first cousin. That's Jeb's first cousin.
But that has nothing to do with.
Oh, it does.
That's family. That's like, somebody being my cousin.
The Bush family has done a lot of things to this country.
But I agree. I agree with that 100%. But that has nothing to do with Donald Trump and what he said. No matter who he said it to, he could have said it to me.
What it has to do with is
who he said it to. It's what he said.
Now listen, I don't know you. You and I never met before today.
Right.
Have you never had a conversation with a friend of yours that you wouldn't have in front of your mom or your sister or your girlfriend? You never said anything? You never been to a strip club? Never read a Playboy magazine?
Never been to a strip club.
Never looked at pornographic images? Never done anything that you wouldn't necessarily do outside of private?
To be honest.
Yeah.
I try to hold myself as a moral person behind closed doors.
I appreciate that.
And in the public as well.
That's noble.
Of course, we all have vices and things that we have done wrong.
Right.
But at the same time, if you do those things, you need to hold yourself accountable for it. And that's what the problem is. It's not that he did anything wrong.
Right.
It's that he does things wrong consistently, and he doesn't say sorry or show that he's apologetic about what he's doing. He's unapologetically disrespectful and says a lot of things that have offended so many people, and that's why people are out here today. And it's not that he's done things wrong, because we've all done things wrong. It's that he is unapologetic about the division that he's creating, and that's what we need to be able to have.
He did retract his comments about Obama's birth certificate, and they had a nice meeting today. Did you see that on TV?
Yes, I did. And
it's a step in the right direction.
That's progress, and I thank you to Obama for definitely, trying to make that kind of thing happen and bringing them together to unite at the White House, and having the First Ladies meet, and all of that is obviously very important. But that kind of progress is what we would like to see. And he even said, in that interview, that he would like, to take counsel from Obama,
right?
Which is, definitely reversed from his previous things that he said. So.
And you said something earlier that I think you said, or maybe I heard you say it to somebody else, that we got to hope that he's going to do better. And maybe he now realizes this is the biggest responsibility he's ever taken on.
Yeah.
And maybe that weight of that will change the man. Listen, we're both freezing. I'd love to continue this.
I'm still going.
It's cold, right?
It is.